So it is June again, which means it's fake E3 time now that E3 is dead, and it means another Nintendo Direct. They've already announced this one during their financial meeting, but we don't have a definitive date. I'm hoping that it comes this week, and we're at the halfway point of the month now, so I thought it's about time to do a little bit of a predictions, a hopes, a wants video. I'm going to combine everything into one, just to point out from the start, this is simply just a predictions video. I don't have any insider knowledge or anything like that. None of this is known to be coming. It's just what I would like, what I kind of speculate that I think might happen, and this video is going to have two different sections to it. So at the start, we're going to talk about games that I really think could be coming and they're a bit more realistic, and then at the end we're going to go into real crazy territory, stuff that probably has no chance of coming out but that I would love to see. So we'll kick this off with an obvious one that people have been wanting for a long time. It was revealed I think 7 years ago to the day, a couple of days ago. It's Metroid Prime 4. We had the remaster to Metroid Prime 1 come out on the Switch. I thought that was a good sign that Metroid Prime 4 wouldn't be too far away, but it's been radio silent since then. We haven't heard anything on Metroid Prime 4. A lot of people are speculating that this could be a Switch 2 or whatever the successor is to the Switch launch title, and I do like that theory. I think I would probably go along with that. We may just well get a glimpse at the first ever Switch 2 title here, being Metroid Prime 4, but under the guise of it being a Switch game. I think they could show an initial teaser trailer, say it's coming in 2025. They've said they're not going to talk about the Switch 2, but this would be an interesting way to put this game out there with a 2025 logo on it, and we would know then it could possibly be a cross-gen title where it's launching on the Switch and the Switch's successor on the same day. We've seen this with the likes of Breath of the Wild and Twilight Princess in the past, and I see no reason why they couldn't do that for Metroid as well. Switch has a massive install base, and they have technically promised this game for the original Nintendo Switch. They won't want to let people down, so I think it is going to come out on Switch. It's just whether or not it's going to be a cross-gen title with the Nick system, and I think we might get an answer to that during this Direct. Next up is another widely talked about one, and this is an HD remaster, or I guess they were already in HD on the WiiU, but it's the revamped new versions on the Switch of The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess and The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. I really want these titles, specifically Wind Waker, and I'm just not sure what way Nintendo is going to go about this. A lot of people have talked about these as a kind of double pack coming out together, being a combination kind of release. Given Nintendo's track record, given the fact that they really love money and love people double dipping, I can't really see them doing that. These are two big enough titles that they could be released on their own, and I think we're going to have some kind of crossover between the old Switch and whatever the Switch's successor is going to be. I still think they're going to be putting out a few different games on Switch, so I think they'll release both of these separately. We may only end up seeing one of these in the Direct if we see either of them at all, but it would be a really easy win. We've had a lot of stuff ported over from the Wii U already, and this could just be the next in line of that series of games that are ported across. They're already in high definition, they're done, there's very minimal work I would imagine to go into these to get them transported over onto the Switch, so it's a more low effort, low cost kind of way of getting a couple of big Zelda titles in the release schedule and ready to go on Nintendo Switch. The perfect stuff that would fill out the end of a console generation, and for that reason I really think we're going to see at least one of these games. My hope is that it would be the Wind Waker. I love that game and I would love to have it portably. I think it looks beautiful, it'll look great on the OLED. I really hope we see this, but I'm not holding my breath for both of them, but I do hope we get it. And that brings me on to another prediction as well, and I'll add this in with the Zelda titles because, well, it's another Zelda title, but it's not the two that most people are discussing. I'm thinking about A Link Between Worlds. In a few weeks' time, we're about to get a remaster of Luigi's Mansion 2 HD brought from the Nintendo 3DS. It looks beautiful in its up-resed version on the Nintendo Switch. It got me thinking about what other Nintendo 3DS games they could pull out of their hat and bring to Nintendo Switch. Why not bring this one? It's a Zelda title, it's stuck on the 3DS, there's no other way to play this, and given how good Luigi's Mansion 2 looks, yes, we might want Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, but I don't see a reason why the remastered game couldn't be A Link Between Worlds, and to be honest, that would probably be my pick over Twilight Princess. I'd probably want Wind Waker the most. In terms of my second pick, it would be Link Between Worlds. And when we're talking about ports from older consoles and ports from the Wii U, let's talk about another one that would be easy for them to bring over that fans have been clamoring for throughout throughout the Switch's lifetime, and that is Xenoblade Chronicles X. This one to me is just a no-brainer. Switch has that little bit more of oomph and power than the Wii U had, and I think it would run this game really nicely. The game is now kind of lost to time. You have to get a physical version of that. There were updates on the eShop to make this game run perfectly on the Wii U, and unfortunately with the Wii U's eShop shutting down, those are no longer available. For preservation, this would be a great one to get on the Nintendo Switch, and having the full series, Xenoblade 1, 2, 3, X, and it would be a nice one to round out the Switch's lifetime as well, because it's, like I said, an easier port to do. It already exists, it's sitting there, it's ready to go, but this has a built-in fan base with a lot of people that would be excited about it. Imagine getting one of those Zelda remasters and the Xenoblade Chronicles X remaster all coming out this Christmas. Yes, they're ports from other systems, but big fan bases, and with that in mind, this seems like it's going to be the direct that a lot of people are predicting a lot of ports and remasters for, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. There's a chance that we may get something like a Mario Galaxy 2. If they don't have many Mario games to show off, they've already done a port of Mario Galaxy 1 that was part of the Anniversary Collection, and it's always left me feeling a little bit sour that we don't have the next in the series of that. It feels like a missed opportunity just having Mario Galaxy 1 and having it stranded to that. We should be able to get the second one and be able to play it as well. So I'm really hopeful that we get that at some stage. It might not be now, but I would love to see it, even as a download-only title. Another one that I think we could possibly see as a download-only title as well is Luigi's Mansion 1 in HD, and perhaps they thought releasing it as a standalone release, it maybe wouldn't be worth it. It's quite a short game. The fact that we've got Luigi's Mansion 3 as a Switch exclusive title, we're now getting a remaster of Luigi's Mansion 2, it just feels kind of strange and funny that we wouldn't have the first one available. Maybe this opens the door to Nintendo Online starting to have GameCube games and they'll put the original on there, but it just seems very strange that they wouldn't have 1, 2 and 3 on the one system. We look at the like of what they've done with Pikmin. You can now play 1, 2, 3 and 4 all on the one system. That started its life on GameCube as well, so I could see there being an outside chance that they say, we're putting Luigi's Mansion 1 on as well in HD, and even as a bit of an experiment for different ways to release games, they could put it on at a more budget-friendly price and have it maybe just as download only, and while Luigi's Mansion 2 is catching a bit of momentum when it releases, they could maybe scoop up a lot of people that will buy the first game as well to have all of them together. It's an outside chance, but it's something that I think could happen, and I would really like to see it so that we have them all in the one place, much like the Xenoblade games. And now I come to the part of the video with a few outside predictions that I really think probably won't happen. Some of these are just completely outlandish as well, but we're going to go over them and see. So I would love to see, and think we probably will see, a smaller title from Nintendo, maybe something that's been a little bit lost to time, or that's just one of their kind of secondary series that we haven't seen in a long time. The one that I've picked out, I'm pretty sure won't happen, but I would love to see it on the Switch, and that is either a remastered collection or a brand new game in the Pushmo series, or it was called Pull Blocks here in Europe. This game's really fun for anyone that didn't play it. It was a 3DS title, and then there was a version on the Wii U as well. It's a puzzle game where you push and pull kind of connected block in and out of this kind of diorama and make yourself a platform for reaching a goal at the top of the structure of the blocks. Think something like Catherine, where you're pulling the blocks in and out to get higher up on the platforms, only not as crazy and messed up. This one's really cute, colourful. I just think this is, again, a bit more of a low effort type of game. It's not that AAA massive experience. It's something that a secondary team maybe in Nintendo could have developed, have ready to go, or it could have been sitting on the shelf kind of ready to go at any point. It's not something that requires bigger, newer, more powerful hardware. It's something that I think they could have had in the back pocket ready to go at a moment's notice. We know Nintendo have games ready to go at times, and they've held them off until there is a low point in time, or there's a little bit of a gap in the schedule and they need something to put out. And I think, why not put something like Pull Blocks out in that time? Like I said, it could be a different, smaller series, something like when we seen Pocket Card Jockey come back a few months ago, just something from the past that it would be really nice to see again. I'd love it to be Pushmo. Pushing the boat out further, what about a Star Fox game? Star Fox has been completely absent from this generation in terms of its own title, and I'm wondering if we could get a brand new game in the series, and if not, perhaps another port from the Wii U. Why not just rinse that thing completely dry and get another easy enough port over? This one would probably be slightly harder due to the control mechanisms in Star Fox Zero, but could we possibly see it come over to the Nintendo Switch? Again, I would be doubtful on this one, but it would be a big fan moment, especially if it's a new Star Fox game in the series, a brand new entry announced. I don't think this one will probably happen, but it is pretty wild to think that they're going to go an entire console generation without a new Star Fox game, and I know fans of the series would be clamoring for another one. Why not even get a Star Fox Adventure remaster? That would be absolutely incredible. And talking about long dormant series, let's look back at the Wii generation, and let's think back to the launch of Red Steel. This came out with the Wii, it looked impressive in showcases, it didn't perform as impressively in real life, but then it was somewhat redeemed, I feel, with Red Steel 2. We've seen Endless Ocean come out on the Switch, and that was another one of those smaller past series that they were working for behind the scenes without many people knowing about it, and then it came out and it was a bit of a surprise. And why not get something like that with Red Steel 3? That would be a really cool entry, and it's something that I would love to see. And I know we've done a lot of talking, and everyone out there in the Nintendo fanbase seems to be doing a lot of talking about old Nintendo games getting remasters, getting ports, but why not end this one and end the Switch's lifecycle with a brand new game in a series? And I'm looking at ARMS. Yeah, no one has really been talking about this one, and maybe for good reason. The first ARMS, I think, is an underrated gem of a game, but I think a lot of people didn't give it the chance that they maybe should have. Is there a chance that we can get a sequel to ARMS on the Switch? I think it is a pretty decent chance that we get a sequel to this game, but I think it'll probably come on the Switch's successor. I would be absolutely hyped if they announce an ARMS 2 that's going to come out on the Nintendo Switch. Obviously, there's been plentiful amount of time between the first game and now for another title to come out in this series, and I'd like to see them making corrections to some of the mistakes that they made with the first one, because deep down, I think there's a gem of a game there that can do really well for Nintendo. And to be honest, that's really it. I don't know what's going to come. This is one of the directs where I think in terms of leaks and things that we've heard about, there's not been as much discussion, so I really don't know what to expect. We could be in for a really uneventful Nintendo Switch direct that just peters out the end of this console's life cycle, or we could be in for some surprises that give it that one last push and a beautiful send-off for this system. I'm hoping it's the latter. Let me know in the comments below what you think about some of my predictions, thoughts, wants, or what kind of games you would like to see being announced during this Nintendo Direct. I've talked about first-party stuff here, but you can hit me up with any third-party stuff as well, anything that you expect. I'd love to get a discussion going and see what your thoughts are. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.